The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.
Rovers fans, welcome back to another episode of the Breakfast with Rovers Chat show here on the Monday morning. I'm Ollie Walker-Peel and welcome back to another episode. Today on the agenda, we're going to be mentioning obviously the Leeds game, not the Leeds game, I keep thinking about pre-season, the Swansea game. We're going to be looking forward to both Morecambe and of course Millwall, which is our next league game. And yeah, we're just going to have a general chat about Rovers, which should be fun of course, as always. So, quickly, if you are in the chat, put your comments through, and then I'll get to those in a moment. As you saw in the intro, we are, of course, sponsored by 6yardsout.com. We are also sponsored by Blue Rose Capital. So thanks, of course, to Blue Rose Capital and 6yardsout.com for their continued support across not only this season, but also the season's gone as well. I'm meaning to say there. So finally, I'm getting words out, which is nice. I'm just going to try and set that up for a moment. It's not deciding to work for me, but there you go. If there are people in the comments, make sure that you are putting your comments through. I've not got anything yet, so not really much to react to be fair. But as soon as we do, we'll get ourselves going. Got a few viewers, three on the stream so far. So one thing I also would like to know from anyone watching this is how's the camera quality? Because I know for the watch along against Swansea, the camera wasn't brilliant, which was really annoying because it's worked for me before. So if I switch to this camera, this one might be slightly better. To be fair, it looks even worse, doesn't it? All right, well, we'll go like that for now, and we'll sort of see where we're at. So just let me know which camera is better, because I need to sort it out for the watch-alongs. That looks even worse, doesn't it? I'm going to go back to the other camera because I think the other camera looked better. So I'm going to move that out of the way for now. Just trialing and testing things for the watch-alongs, of course. But hello to the people that are arriving. There are 4 of us. I'll get away just in a few moments' time. So we're just waiting for people just to join us. There are people that seem to be here, but yeah, it's also worth mentioning that while we are just waiting for people to join us, that the Football Content Awards voting process is closed now. Ben and Al, says Kieran. Okay, there we go. So thank you for letting me know, mate. The Football Content Awards process for voting is closed. So thank you to all of those that voted. Obviously, it means a lot to us here at Rovers Chat that you've taken your time out to do that. Hopefully, we can get into that top 10, and then from there, who knows? But cheers to all of you for voting and whatnot. Right, so let's have a talk about some match action then. Been waiting a while to do this, obviously, with the league starting last weekend. We can, of course, talk about some football, which is what we're really here to do. Obviously, the game against Swansea at the weekend, good win for Rovers, really, for being honest. A 2-1 win over the beaten playoff finalists last season. Obviously, goal scorers being Sam Gallagher and Ben Brayton Diaz. Was good on the watch along. It was a lot of fun. Probably one of the best moments in my life, really, to be fair. So, yeah, no, it was really good. I think Rovers deserved it, to be fair. We probably should have won by more, if we're being honest. A few missed chances, obviously. We had people like Brio hitting the post late on. Dan Butterworth had a chance or two. Tyrese Dolan had several chances. So we definitely deserve to win the game. Probably should have won it by more, though, which is, I suppose, the only frustrating thing to take out. But let's be positive today. Let's be positive because there's a lot more to be positive about than there is to be negative about. So let's take the positives for a change. And especially with pre-season being all doom and gloom kind of thing, it's nice to see that we actually, when we get out there is a bit to be positive about, which is, I suppose, always good. So if you want to put through your reactions to the game on Saturday in the comments, that would be good, just so I can get a bit of a consensus of what you guys thought. Because I think most people, apologies, I think would say that we deserve to win the game and probably should have won it by more. But if you want to put those through, that would be good. Just so I've got something that I can sort of react to. In terms of my man of the match from the game, I thought Tyrese, when reacted to the game, I thought he was good. As far as John Buckley, though, should get most of the plaudits because he was incredible, wasn't he, John Buckley? Marshalled everything from midfield and made it all tick, really. I was probably a bit too scathing on Daniel Ayala because Ayala had a decent game, I thought. On reflection, obviously on the stream, I think I made him look a bit of a scapegoat, but he didn't deserve to be because he actually played an alright game, with the exception of that sliding challenge on the edge of the box. But no, he was alright. I don't think any Rovers player had a bad game. But yeah. New sign. Are you going to try and get me to read out something here? Because I've never heard. I'm not going to fall for that. I'm not going to fall for that, Nick. Or if you want to explain what that is, please do, because I don't want to fall for anything. But hopefully there is a few new signings. Just if you are reading that comment, Kieran, with Armour appearing to have played his last game, nice to see T-Strike scoring. We look more balanced without Armour. I'll just respond to this one first. 4 for what? You see all the time. Obviously, people reading out comments, and they're like the explicit names kind of thing. And I've never heard of that name before, so I just wondered if you were trying to catch me out. That was all. But with that comment, I don't assume you are. So, can you give us some context as to what you mean, mate? Because I don't understand where you're going. I'll bring up the comment for those that are confused. Gave me his boots last night. I'm really confused as to what you mean. So I thought you were trying to catch me out with the name or something, because you see it all the time on AFTV and things. So I'm a little bit apprehensive. But apologies for presuming that. But yeah, back to this one. We did look more balanced that arm. We didn't have to rely on him as much, which was nice. Obviously, last season he would always do the business for us, scoring 29 goals and whatnot. But it was nice not having for him to be sort of the only outlet in a way. We had the likes of Dolan playing well, and Gallagher and Brio and Butterworth when he came on. So it was nice to have someone slightly different. I thought Dolan had a really good game. I thought he pressed really well. Obviously, won the penalty as well, didn't he? So yeah, from the game, a lot to be positive about, and hopefully we can just take it forward into the rest of the season. But also, if you want to post your man of the matches from the game, I'll have a look at some of those as well, because I think there's a lot to pick from. It's always nice saying that, to be fair, saying that there's a lot to pick from rather than none to pick from at all. I reckon that's the best way. Okay, so Nick hasn't followed up to this comment. Paid for him and his agent's taxi. Okay, this is... Okay, right. Oh, okay. Okay. I hadn't heard of this guy before. Right. Okay. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for being apprehensive. Gave him his boots last night. So for those who are wondering as to who this guy is, I'd never heard of him. He plays for Brighton. He's a German midfielder. Can confirm that's a player. I've never heard of him. Okay, right. Nick, I apologise. I really do apologise, okay? I'm sorry. I've never heard of this guy. Can confirm he's a player. He's a winger and attacking midfielder. I've not seen anything about him. I've not seen any sort of news or rumours or anything. So that could be something interesting. Bit of a breaking news here on Breakfast with the Rovers chat. But no, okay. Obviously, we could probably do with an attacking mid, probably, especially while Dak's out. Speaking of attacking-minded players, Joe Rothwell was good. He did play really well. Went on a really nice driving run that really impressed me. which was class, I thought. It's interesting with Rothwell, because he could be on the way out as well. With Armour, obviously there was links to Sheffield United. They haven't materialised as of yet. But there we go. Nick did, and he was on loan at Brighton. Thought I'd give you a scoop. Okay, well, I do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so I want to read up more on this guy. I do want to read up more on this guy. So he was at Dortmund, and he played in the league last season for Brighton. When did he play? Coming on 86th minute, and away defeats of Man City. How have I never heard of this guy? He's actually played Premier League football, and I've not heard of this lad. Right, okay. I'm really just shocked by that, because I didn't expect any transfer news here. I mean, I don't obviously want you giving much away in terms of confidentiality. If stuff's confidential, you obviously want to keep that stuff private. But if you can give us as much as you can within the realms that you've got the information, that would be brilliant, because it could be an interesting little signing. His stats look good for under 23s. Played 6 games, got 3 goals and 2 assists. Well, that's not too bad. Yeah, that's decent. We've got a lot of good young players ourselves at the club as well. So, you know, that could be something interesting. Him and his agent gave me his boots to say thanks. I didn't know who he was. So, okay, well that's good on his agent for giving him something like that. So there's nothing in correlation to Rovers then, or is there? Maybe we need to suggest this to Joe or to Andy to put on his Rovers booklets. I don't know if he has already, the stats booklets that he does every pre-season. But no, that's a really cool story, and I think it's got me something to talk about. But we'll keep that discussion going in the comments, and I'll sort of talk about other things while we can. So obviously we've got a couple of games this week. The first one, of course, being Morecambe in the League Cup. We're going to do a little preview of that, me and Chris Hayes, later on. We're going to record it later on tonight. I think it's just a video. I don't think it's a live stream, but we'll post that out probably tomorrow. We're just going to talk about the game against Morecambe, the first competitive meeting between the sides, which I thought was quite surprising when that fixture came out. But yeah, don't know what Morecambe will bring, to be honest. Obviously, they lost their best player last season, most would argue, in Carlos Mendes Gomez to Luton. But obviously, they came up through the playoffs from League 2 to League 1. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on against us during the week. And then Millwall after that. So a couple of games this week. If you look at Ipswich, the Ipswich game for Morecambe, they drew 2-2. So yeah, they did very well against Ipswich, to be fair to them. I was just trying to make sure I knew on how they did, but we should win. I would like a cup run, especially if we're not too ambitious in the league. It would be nice to have a cup run, I agree. We probably should beat them, to be fair. They still have Jan Songo on their books. I know they did last season. Obviously, was on the books at Rovers at one point in time, or did he move? Because I know he was there. And obviously, Brad Lyons was there last season, wasn't he? Before he's now moved to I think it was Ross County. He's at Bradford now, so he's moved on from Morecambe to Bradford. Jan Songo, that's a bit of a flashback. He's gone to Bradford, you're right. I've just looked it up. It was him and Sasha Petchy, wasn't it? They signed at similar times, and neither of them did anything for us. Throwing things back here. Sasha Petchy, there you go. He's 29. My days. Yeah, I think we signed him on the same day, Sasha Petchy and Jan Songo, and neither of them really did much for us. But there you go. But Morecambe, yeah, we should realistically we should be winning. For a League One side, with all due respect to them. I mean, to be fair, we did struggle against League One opposition last year in the League Cup, though, because we played Doncaster, didn't we? We lost to Doncaster in the FA Cup, to be fair, later in the season. But yeah, they conceded in the 91st minute. Macaulay Bond scored a late equaliser. It looks like they're set up in a 4-3-3, which is, you know, similar to what we played. Cole Stockton got the 2 goals for them on the day, so he might be one we need to look at. But to be fair, we really should be winning. You're right. But I know it gives us something to look forward to. Don't remind me of the Doncaster game. Pairs were shocking. Obviously, cup games are hard to watch over here, so that was one of the games I missed. I remember I was listening to it. I got up and I watched it. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I listened to it. Sorry, wasn't a good time. I was away camping. It wasn't good. I was just waiting for us to get back into it. Nothing just happened. But it's well behind us now. We have better memories of Doncaster anyway, especially after we beat him to go up from League One at the Keep Moat. So we'll focus on that memory instead. But no, in terms of the Morecambe game, quick prediction from me. I'll say a 3-1. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I'll say a 3-1, and we'll delve more into that tonight on the recording with Chris, and we'll talk more about that game. But yeah, there we go. So in terms of Millwall, then we won't have another one of these shows before Millwall, so we'll talk about that game as well. Obviously Millwall, they're a decent side. You know what you're getting, don't you? They're a really tough team to play against. We've had to obviously play against them last season. We beat them at their place, which is obviously a good omen, I do suppose. I was doing a bit of prep actually for not only Millwall but every team in the Championship. I'm trying to build up like a data sheet for each game. So I'm just going to go back and refer to what I had for Millwall. Did I do anything on Millwall? I thought I did. Is Millwall the team I've missed? Maybe I'm struggling to find Millwall. Hold on. I definitely did something on Millwall. There you go. So Millwall apparently set up with wing backs, sort of as a 3-back or a 5-back last week against Queen's Park Rangers. They drew 1-1. I obviously didn't watch the game, so it's take this with a little pinch of salt. But they went with Daniel Ballard in goal, who got booked apparently. No, I'm reading the wrong line. Bielkowski in goal, Scott Malone, Murray Wallace, Sean Hutchinson, Daniel Ballard, who did get booked, Dan McNamara, Keith Beld, Evans, and Saville in a midfield 3, and a front 3 of Jed Wallace, Benik Afobe. I'm misreading my own lines here. So yeah, there you go. Wallace and Afobe up top. Oh no, because it's 5-3-2. You're right. I'm all over the place. So it was Wallace up top with Afobe in the midfield 3 of Evans, Keith and Beld and Saville. So a little bit different how we obviously set up, of course. But no, Lucas, it'll be a tough game because they're hard to break down and got a good point against QPR. QPR, yeah, it is a good point to be fair. Obviously, a lot of people expecting QPR to do things this season, and with good reason too. They've got a good bunch of players down at the Cara Prince. So yeah. Obviously, at the moment, we'd like to think we could beat Millwall. Obviously, we beat them last season when we were in our horrendous run. That was our win that sort of stopped the rot, if you will. But it will be a tough game. You're not wrong. And on the bench, they had Long, Pearce, Conor Mahoney, obviously used to play for Rovers, and Bradshaw that weren't used. And they brought on Billy Mitchell, Ryan Leonard, and Matt Smith. Obviously, Matt Smith at this Championship level is decent. Got himself a hat-trick last year, didn't he, Matt Smith? I remember watching that game. I can't remember who it was against. But he was absolute dynamite one week. Not a bad striker at level, to be fair. I'll be honest. Where was that hat-trick? I really want to know when he got the hat-trick now. I think he was away. Forest. Yeah, it was. Nottingham Forest away. He got a hat-trick. And he was great that day. So he's a decent player for the level, Matt Smith. And if you've got him coming off the bench, you've got a decent bit of depth. So Millwall, there will be a tough nut to crack, but I think we should still get the job done. I take a draw from that game, says Lucas, from that performance on Saturday. I think we can get 6 points against them like last season. Yeah, we obviously won the game at home, didn't we, as well? So Millwall, we did well against them last year. Obviously, it's a tough place to go, especially with fans back. But we had a decent record there at, at Millwall. Obviously, we lost there at the end of 2019-20, didn't we? That would sort of killed our very, very small playoff hopes. I think it was potentially Mason Bennett, if my memory serves me right, who got the goal that day. And obviously that wasn't a great day to be a Rovers fan. But the season before, we won 2-0. I think it was Armour and Joe Nuttall, I think, got the goals. So last time we played them there with fans, we won as well. So we're not on a bad record there in quite recent times. So hopefully we can sort of extend that. But I suppose I'll have to wait and see to the weekend, I guess. So that's all the on-field stuff. Off-field, obviously there's transfer rumours. Obviously there's this one that's now going to be the talk of the town. Where is he? Let me get the initial comment. No clue how to pronounce it. Rita Cadra, I'm going to go with. So there's a new scoop on Rovers Chat. Would be nice if it actually gets done. I'm going to be very, very buzzing because it's a player through the door. We haven't had anyone since Harry Pickering, so maybe it could be an outside shout. But we were. I'm still coughing. I wasn't at the during the watch along, and I thought I got through it, but apparently not. We were linked with a guy that played against Arsenal last season for Leeds. I can't think of his name. Niall Huggins, that's it. So he played once, made his league debut for Leeds against Arsenal. They lost that game, and he came on as a sub. Obviously, we probably do need a backup left back for Pickering in case Pickering gets injured. So might be a decent one to look at. Obviously, we've got the likes of Morgan Rogers linked on loan, Tommy Doyle linked on loan, Leighton Clarkson. We talked about those for a while now. I mean, Leighton Clarkson has been getting minutes for Liverpool. He's a mate of mine from England. I know him quite well, and I was just watching one of their games against Bologna, and he looked tidy on the ball. In most cases, for those that don't know, he's sort of he can play as a 6, but he's more suited to an 8, I think. So he can get back and also go forward. He likes to create. He's not a tough tackler, other than a red card he got against Man United, which was absolutely vile from Leighton. But other than that, no, he's a really good player. He's a top prospect at Liverpool. They rate him really highly. So I think it would be a coup if we obviously got him. And we also know what Liverpool youngsters are like with Harvey Elliott. So could be an option. But in terms of City, we've got Rogers and Doyle, obviously, that we've sort of talked about a bit. But yeah, other than that, not too much on the incomings. Obviously, the outgoings. Bit crazy to think that Jack Grealish has somehow indirectly influenced Rovers, because midway through last week, we obviously had the mental sort of transfer debates when Armour was wanted by everyone under the sun. Obviously, Southampton were the main sort of target. That one made sense. Obviously, it's Danny Ings. They want to replace him. He's gone to Villa. You've got the likes of, I think, Watford were linked with him, Palace, Norwich. A lot of those have cooled off, I think, a little bit. But I think Southampton have come back with an increased bid. So it's interesting to see whether Rovers accept that or not. I think for the best of the club, he probably has to go, but which is quite crazy that we're saying that after he scored 29. But I think just for finances, it's probably best if he leaves. And obviously, we didn't look too bad without him anyway last week against Swansea. But I think there's a lot to play out on that front. Tony Mowbray did say, though, that he wants it out of the way. He wants the saga out of the way. And then if he doesn't go by Millwall, he will be considered for selection. So there's not sort of much more that we can do other than that, really, and sort of wait and see if it resolves. Graham Hamilton, welcome, mate. Happy to see your comment, which is nice. How good did Pickering look on Saturday? It's so nice to finally have some confidence at left back. I mean, a lot of Rovers fans, very, very unfairly, in my opinion, slated him at the weekend. I thought he was decent. Not too much to write home about, but he did his job. So, yeah, I was happy with Harry Pickering at the weekend. I think he got a lot of unfair criticism, especially considering it was his first championship game of his career. Like, he's played League One and League Two the majority of the time. He's not going to just go into the team and become Roberto Carlos all of a sudden. You've got to give a lot of time, and I thought he did well, all things considered. So I agree with the comment. Obviously, with left back, the position's been a bit of a poison chalice, hasn't it? With the likes of Amari Bell and Barry Douglas not seeming to work out. Greg Cunningham did look decent before his injury, but then got injured, and that was that. It was interesting listening to the lads chat on the sofa chat, because as they said, we probably haven't had a decent left back since Martin Olsen, and that's when I used to go to games. So back when I could. So, that's how far back we're going. I think Pickering doesn't look too bad, all things considered. So I think we just got to give him time and think he'll do the job for us. I did mention Niall Huggins just a moment ago, Lucas. From Leeds, I've spoken to a few Leeds fans that I know of here in Australia, and they think he's half decent. They think they've shown a little bit. They're saying that he's good at under 23 level. Hasn't really had much chance to prove himself. Obviously, in that Leeds senior team, did mention that he got the Premier League game against Arsenal, came on as a substitute, so that's not too bad, I suppose. But that might be something that we could look towards. Kieran says an upgrade from what we had. Completely agree. To be fair, obviously, Amari Bell at his best was decent for us, but the gap between his best and his worst was too large, I think. He's off to Luton now. I think he started. he started at the weekend. Sorry, apologies. This still not going away. This cough. So I thought I got through it after the Swansea game going all right, but definite upgrade from what we had, 100%. But to be fair, all things considered, it is nice to see Amari Bell still playing games. Obviously, he wasn't really a fan favourite at Rovers. He used to be a bit of a scapegoat, but nice to see him doing all right now. So that's really the transfer news in terms of incomings. We've sort of mentioned Armstrong in a decent bit of depth. Rothwell we've talked about. We're not sure what's happening with him. And really, that's really it on transfers, I suppose. If there's any more that you can think about, let me know and I can give it a bit of airtime. But this, I'm sorry, I'm just going back to Kadri's of Lebanese descent, trialed at Man United as well while he was at Dortmund. So he got released and trialed at Man U. I'm just going off the comments, so I've got no idea if he's actually going to sign or if it's just someone got his boots and that was it. But nice to have something. Kieran, this was going back to the Swansea game. I like how we played with more of a diamond with two up top, 8 wide forwards. To be fair, I didn't really see it that way. I thought we played with that front three, especially in the early parts of the game. I was just watching the dynamics, and it sort of thought like we started with Gallagher through the middle, and then pushed him out wide for the majority of the game after that, and allowed Dolan to play as sort of a false 9, which worked really well. I think his pressing is insane. We did mention the game against Millwall last season. So who knows? Lucas, I'm not sure. I've not heard anything either. But it's all because of this Nick guy commented. Nick did and commented before, saying new signing for Rovers in Amsterdam tomorrow. Rida Kadra, lad gave me his boots last night. So that's all I'm taking it from. If you're still here, mate, probably get your story up to Football League World, mate, because I'm sure they'll take it and write something about it. Obviously, they write a lot of football content, and they're decent at what they do up there. I don't mind reading some of their stuff, Football League World. So maybe they'll take it on. Who knows? But it's a rumor that's really come out of nothing. But if it's true, I wouldn't mind seeing him sign because apparently he's a winger. He was saying, an attacking mid. So for depth, doesn't look like too bad. And obviously, Lucas, you do mention that transfer with Danny Ings to Villa. Nothing was talked about there. That just happened out of nothing. I read that the Southampton players didn't even find out until after their pre-season game that they were playing that night. So that's how kept under wraps it was. But just back to this comment from Kieran, and I'll probably wrap things up very shortly. I thought we did play with more of a front three, with Dolan playing through the middle. Obviously, pressed their keeper, Stephen Bender, so much. Obviously, won the penalty. So I thought that Tyrese had a really good game playing as a false 9. But especially if Armstrong goes, if you don't get a traditional number 9 replacement, something I could maybe see him going with opponent depending in the future, because I think TM's deployed him well in that role. Once against Millwall last season, and also against Swansea at the weekend. So I guess that's another positive. So anything else do you want me to talk about before I wrap up? Obviously, been a decent show, this one, with a bit of breaking news in there as well. Maybe if we're having to do this in the future, I'm going to have to get a yellow tie out. Go full Jim White. Oh, they were the days. Anything else you sort of want me to discuss before we head off? Because I think it's been half an hour. We've had a decent chat, which is nice. Doesn't look like anything at the moment, so I probably will wrap it up there. Been a really decent show. Have a good rest of your day. Make sure if you haven't yet subscribed to the Rovers Chat YouTube channel, you can do so. Big red button just below me, probably down here somewhere. So hit that red button. Put the notification bell on just so you never miss whenever we stream or we post. Obviously, we've got that video coming live with Chris Hayes and myself later on. Probably tomorrow, talking about the game against Morecambe. Just previewing that one a little bit. So that should be interesting. But other than that, that's me done. I've been Ola Walker-Peel. Thanks for joining me on Breakfast with the Rovers Chat. I'll leave you with a reminder that we are sponsored by Blue Rose Capital and 6yardsout.com. Bye for now.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.